gathering joining us today for the first webinar of Udhbhavana 2022-23. I, Dr. Aditi Ved, on behalf of Team Udhbhavana, would heartily like to welcome Honorable Chief Guest on the occasion, our speaker, Dr. V.R. Sampath, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Textile Technology, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Dr. Uttam Sharma, Coordinator, Udhbhavana 22-23, Head of Institutes, Department of Institutions of SEEE, faculty members and staff members. We are very fortunate to have that inspiration with us who gave a new dimension to research and applying his vision in the form of guiding to organize this academic forum. May I now invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, Dr. Upinder Dhar sir, to give his opening remarks.
Good evening to all of you. We had started this Udhbhavana a few years back with an intention to inspire the young faculty and also keep them updated about contemporary research in their fields and interdisciplinary areas. And every year, our faculty in general, particularly the senior people, have been making presentations to motivate the youngsters to come forward. Well, as we know that in research, this plagiarism has become a very big issue. Maybe it was happening earlier also when technology was not available. But the instances where it was found were less because technology was not with us at that time. But now with the more use of information technology, IT, instances have been found, increased, in fact, we would say increasing instances are there where plagiarism has been found. That means people simply copy without giving any credit to the original author, which is now being considered as an offense. And University Grants Commission has also released a regulation prescribing punishment in relation to the extent of similarity or extent of plagiarism. Therefore, we have to be very cautious and ensure that whatever we write, whatever we do, it should be original. And if we are borrowing anything from any other work, that should be cited. That should be the original author should be given due credit. And we should only have a bearing on the available researches, learning from the available researches, but not simply copy. That care one needs to take. You see, because of this only, that the University Grants Commission had to start the system of UGC care journals. That means journals which are genuine and one can publish the work in such journals. Almost every 6 months it is reviewed, the list is reviewed, and those journals which are found dubious or found that they are not up to the mark are being dropped. Normally, for publishing any research in a good journal, it takes quite some time. But then it has become a rampant business for some to charge some money and publish in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, which was very unheard of earlier. It's a malpractice which needs to be discouraged. That's why UGC regulation prescribes that we should not accept any publication which is paid, particularly paid or open source publications. They should not be given any credit for anything, neither for promotions, nor for appointments, and so on and so forth. So one has to be very careful. So our resource person, Dr. Sampath, has chosen very appropriate topic for Udhbhavana today. So I'm sure that he will be sharing the latest, and all the faculty colleagues will be listening to him very carefully, because this is very important, as I said. And I'm sure that over the period of time, all of us would focus more on original works than simply copying from other works. We need to learn to cite people. Citation is important. How to cite, that also one needs to learn. Giving due credit to the other contributors. So with these words, I welcome Dr. Sampath to Udhbhavana and all of you for happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So before we begin, let me give a little introduction about E.R. Sampath, sir. He presently serves as the director of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Textile Technology. He has received his BTech from Madras University as well as his MTech and PhD from Bakhtiyar University.
Sir,
He has more than 17 years of business experience, industry experience. After that, he started working in academia and he has been working for the past more than 20 years. He is also an ISTE Life member with more than 35 publications in SCI national and international journals. So we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor. See, when Dr. Uttam Sharma was traveling in a car, he asked me, why can't you give a lecture on Udhbhavana, the first lecture? Immediately I accepted it. And the area which I chose, the most liked area, research ethics and research funding. So here I am pleased to give you some of the important aspects of research writing, which may be useful for all the faculties. And maybe it may be known to many of them who have started publishing, and perhaps it may be a repeat, but also it is a valuable one, which I want to share. I will share the screen now. Yes, this. Click. Open it. Screen sharing. Is it okay, visible?
Yes, sir, perfectly visible.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. See, in this particular lecture, how many of you know about this person? Arthur Conan Doyle. Most of you might have heard about him, the Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is known for his proficiency with observation, detection, forensic science, and logical reasoning. Of course, all these are required for any research. So he researched many things and he started disseminating his particular work as a stories, which is also a research on a particular fantastic areas. See, most of the authors want to publish because they want to disseminate their knowledge. That was the first choice, which has been found by a survey. Dissemination means how you can take up your knowledge to wide spectra and give to all the people. And some are very much interested in motivating to publish on career prospects. That was around 20%. See, when you want to develop your career, of course, not even before now, people started understanding what is required as a publisher, how many articles you have published. When I worked in Ethiopia, it is a mandatory. Every faculty who has completed a UG or PG, who looks for a career, has to have some publication. I have seen many of my PG scholars who come down to us and ask for some area for publication, preferably their research areas. So another main area is to improve the funding status. All the research publication will give a criteria for our funding opportunities. And more importantly, ego is also one of the choice for motivation to publish. And many of them wanted to protect their patents. See, most of the research, it is not only theoretical research, academic research, or sponsored research. Most of them, they go for some fabrication also. The fabrication is itself is a research, and to protect their fabrication and protect their knowledge, they started doing patenting. Others, it is around 5% of choice. See, when we look into the behavior, how the author behaves and how the reader behaves, author wants to publish more. Yes, once you find the taste of publishing, automatically you will start publishing every year. Every research, whatever you get, whatever you undertake, along with the students, along with the sponsors, we will start to publish that research. Most of the research carries peer review essentials. See, my research paper has to be reviewed. It has to be sent to many people and it has to be reviewed. Of course, I take the constructive criticisms. And I want to go for a lot of other journals also, not only one particular journal, which has got a wide functions of other journals also. And I want to disseminate wider. Nowadays, we have a lot of space for our dissemination and we can easily find out how much we have disseminated. When we go with the reader's perspective, they want an integrated system. They want their browsing is very crucial. They want to find out the quality information and the important information, and they want to read less. See, when I say what is research findings, first we will come to research findings. Research findings aim in providing novel concepts and innovative findings that can be utilized for further research. See, research is a never-ending process. Whatever concepts you have developed, whatever findings you have developed, it will be carried for further research. Development of new products, services, implementation, and business strategies. So any research is not an end. It has to be carried on and on. So when we find a research, now we want it to be written. We call it as a research writing. This is a specific method of sharing one side's the knowledge one has generated with academic and research community. See, last time in 26th of March, there was a function called Multidisciplinary Approach to Research Emerging Paradigms on 26th March 2022. I attended that function and it was very interesting how multidisciplinary research and interdisciplinary research are integrated. So research is for a community. Research writing is for a complete community. Then I write everything, I keep it myself. How it could be taken to disseminated to all other researchers. Now I go for articles in peer-reviewed journals, articles in good magazines. I prepare a book chapters. I prepare a monographs. Monographs is one wherein we collect all the details and give without any format of the articles. A book, I can publish a book, or I can do a YouTube lectures, YouTube MOOCs lectures like that. I can give my knowledge on research and I can disseminate it elsewhere. So first thing, when we want to find out what is a good publication, we have to find out how to select a target journal. See, I have some research, I have some materials for to publish. First, I cannot directly take it to the publisher or I cannot reveal the publisher because it is a very valuable information. First thing, is the journal the right fit for my work? What journal I have to take? Does the topic match with the journal's scope? See, I can work on a fiber science, but I cannot publish it on some other research area or some other journal which is related to clothing science. So they may not accept. Suppose I have given one research paper. I already done one research paper in one research journal. They said this research cannot be published in this journal. So whether the topic match the journal scope, that we have to understand. Does the journal publish this type of article? We have to find out whether earlier work has been done on that publishing sectors. Is there a reasonable chance of acceptance? See, everything we believe, all our research to be published, but we have to find out whether this criteria has to go. How to find out? We have to review. We have to review a lot of articles, whether the same research has been carried out in any other forum or any other way. So we have to find out what is the reasonable chance of acceptance. Is it read within the communities I want to reach? Yes, of course. My article should be read with my own community and it has to be available in the base. Is the journal good quality and can it be trusted? Of course, trust is very important and without any trust, we cannot publish. First, we have to see whether the journal is a trusted journal. There are three things: think, check, and submit. These are all the three basic things before you submitting any research to a journal. Suppose you identify a trusted journal, you will find out, is it the right journal for your work? See, I work on some areas, some research areas. Say, for example, I work on some fabrics which is related to automobiles. Whether this can be published related to textiles or related to automobiles. First, I have to find out, is this the right journal? See, when I was in Ethiopia, I produced a research work on acoustic materials. I produced the acoustic material. I took the material. I done the research. I done the testing at IIT Chennai. I brought it back to Ethiopia. I prepared the complete paper and I sent the research publication to a journal. The journal replied, "Sir, this is related to acoustics. Why can't you try on this acoustic journal?" So that material which I have prepared is for radio stations. It is completely covered with radio station to prevent the sound waves moving outside. So this material may be useful for acoustic purposes. Why can't you join for the Journal of Acoustics? They supplemented. So our research should be going to the right journal. So we have to find out what is the right journal where we can do the publication. More research is being published worldwide. Every day, rightly pointed out by our Vice Chancellor, every week there are journals. We get a lot of messages, lot of emails. I want one chapter. I want one article. Can you give it me today? I can supplement it. I can publish it in the next week. So we have a lot of news journals are launched every week and stories of publisher malpractice, deception are also on the rise. Yes, plagiarism is on the rise. And see, we publish on an online journal. And online journal is not seen anywhere. Suppose I want to retrieve my journal publication, it is not seen anywhere. A lot of malpractice are also there. You have to find out the up-to-date guidance when choosing where to publish. How can you sure the journal you are considering is the right journal for your research? So we have to find out research and then you submit your research. So these are all some of the points for checking the journals. Reference this list of your chosen journal to check if it is trusted. Do you or your colleagues know the journal? See, when you want to publish a work in a journal, first you find out whether the journal is known to your colleagues or known to other people, or it has been cited, or when you browse it, whether it can come in the publications, whether you have seen the publication of that particular journal. Have you read any articles in the journal before? Have you been able to get latest papers in the journal? That is also very important. All old theories and other things, suppose they have started publishing, we cannot say it is a good journal. Can you identify and contact the publisher? See, most of the time, publishers will be sitting someplace and you will be giving the materials to some other place. There is no correlation. There is no publisher name displayed on the journal website itself. So all these things we have to find out before, check out before putting our papers on the journals. Is the journal clear about the type of peer review? See, most of the journals should have a peer review. So when they are accepting your paper, they will say, I will accept your paper. I will convert it according to my convenience and I will give you a typeset. So those things doesn't carry any peer review. Any mistakes you have done inside or any legal conflicts are there, you cannot be able to solve it. So that peer review is very much required to find out the genuinity of your journal and the contents are really useful or the contents are really being taken in a day-to-day basis. All those things we have to be check all those things. Or articles indexed in services that you use. Is it clear what fees will be charged? See, first thing, there are some paid journals. Most of the paid journals, they collect the fees, they convert the paper of yours, and all the work they will do. They will do every formatting work, everything, first draft, second draft, nothing. You give your article, they will format it, they will do everything, and they charge exorbitantly, and then they will publish. So those things you should clearly avoid. Do you recognize editorial board? Who are there on the editorial board? Most of the journals will give in the website itself the editorial board. So mostly they will carry 3 or 4 members who will check your journal and reply on behalf of the editorial board. Is the publisher a member of recognized industry initiative? See, we can also find out whether the journal is related to any industry initiative, where they have a committee on publication ethics. Is the journal open access? Whether the journal can be accessed openly. Is the journal open access? Whether it has been open access scholarly publishing association. These are all the terms which are there, which most of us, we don't know. We are not going inside this, and we are not able to find out which journal is a good journal, which journal is a Scopus Index journal, which journal is actually required for me to publish. So we have to check all this. If it is open access journal, we have to check open access scholarly publishing association, whether the journal is prescribed or belong to that. Is the journal hosted on one of the INASP journals online platforms? Is the publisher a member of any other trade associations? So we have to check all this before putting our paper there. If you can answer yes to most of all the questions, now complete the checklist and submit your article. Only when we are happy, you can answer. You need to be confident your chosen journal will have suitable profile among your peers to enhance your reputation and your chance of gaining citations. See, most of the time, when there is an open meetings with the project work or other research presentations, so we used to say, I am going to publish this research work in this reputed journal. There may be criticisms. There may be criticism amongst your peers. They may say that why you go for that journal, why for this journal? This journal is more related to that particular topic of study. Why can't you go for this journal, which will be more related to the work which is being done? So publishing in the right journal of your research will raise your professional profile. Your paper should be indexed or archived and may be easily discoverable. We will find out what is all indexing and all. It will be in the coming slides. You should expect a professional publishing experience whenever your work is revised and edited. Only then you should submit your article. There is a series of steps are there. That also we will see. This is a process of publication. So first you give the inscript and it will be reviewed by a reviewing policy. The journal will review the policy. Suppose your manuscript is not to the standard or your script is not accepted, they will be returning to the editor. Otherwise, they will take it to the control region where they will ask you to revise the manuscript. They will give the reviewers comments, reviewer 1, reviewer 2, reviewer 3, like that. They will say, these are all the comments related to your journals. Your reference is not indexed properly. Your observations are not given clearly. Your conclusion is very abrupt. Your abstract is not to the standard. So all these reviewers can give their comments. Then you accepted manuscript, then you do all the corrections which the reviewer has given. Then you submit it again. Then it will be queue on the publishing. Then they will give you an article ready for publishing. Now they will give a typeset document, typeset articles. Some of the journals, they are not giving any typeset article, but they will give a draft. How many lines are there? How many words are there? How much the paper content is? All those things they will be giving. This is the mechanism of publication. These are all some of the keywords which you have to keep records of what you have read. So clear about your publications, citation, database specification, full text available at a free cost, whether it is a Google Scholar index, and all those data are available. So now choosing a journals to publish. What is the impact factor of the journal? What is the reputation of the journal? Whether the journal has got a prescribed policies, whether your articles are accessible. All those things you have to see. Now, what is impact factor? Impact factor is a numerical value assigned to a journal based on its usage. Number of times articles from the journal have been used in other peer-reviewed literatures. See, your journal, your reference, your findings are being used in other journals as a review of literature. How many times it has been used? That we call it as an impact factor. H index measures the productivity and citation impact of individual publication or scholars. So here, H index is very essential for scholars, for institutions, for universities. So this H index is very important parameter nowadays for even giving funding prospects also. So your H index, recently we have seen DST PUS and DST SURE. The DST Department of Science and Technology have announced for a PURS program. So in that, they are asking NIRF ranking. If NIRF ranking is not there, no problem. You give your H index. How many publishing has been done? How many citation have been done by the individual and as a whole by the university? They prescribe 30. If you have 30, you are eligible for submitting your research funding opportunities. And I swear, in future, everything will be like this only. So without any publication, without any funding, we cannot survive. It is not only for the survival of the institution, for the individual also. Every researcher has to produce an article which has to be indexed, which should be put in a impact factor journals. Now, these are all the journal matrix. We have a lot of sites are available. Scopus Journal Matrix is there. Google Scholar Matrix is there. Web of Science Matrix is there. And all these sites are available to find out what is the journal matrix of the journals. See, these are all different types of journal matrix, the same one. And what are all the author matrix? See, every individual is benefited. I have seen shown in the first slide. What is the perspective, author's perspective of publishing? See, one, they will get their own, what you call the satisfaction. The author has got his satisfaction. He should have some H index. What is the H index? That I have shown you already. And most of the journals have got an ARCHID also. So ARCHID is an open researchers and contributory ID from where anybody can find out how the author has been giving lectures or giving publications in that particular journals. So feeds into the H index, ensures that your work is attributed to you. So there is no plagiarism, there is no malpractice, there is nothing. Your work will be indexed. Your work will be carried in the archive. Say, for example, this is one of the typical citation index. We have citations from all the citations. This is a H index of the particular. My friend is only a co-author of mine, and I-10 index is around 16. How many times your article has been cited? More than 10 times. Suppose you have I-10 index means how many times your article has been cited? More than 10, how many times are there? So he has got a lot of articles and he has been given a I-10 index of 16. So this you can clearly get in the Google Scholars. This is Scopus Citation Index. The same way, it is again how many total citation and what is the H index. We can easily find out. And there is a specific formula, all are available. We can easily calculate the index. See, sir was telling, BC sir was telling about predatory journals, paid journals, the journals which are killing. I put a snake diagram because these are all predatory journals which is not worth of publishing. See, these may not be known for people like us when we started our journey in 2000s. Perhaps now everything is open, everything is known to everybody. Suppose you want to put it in a journal, first check whether this journal is predatory journal which is not being taken by any of the index. So there is one Bill's format is there, one index is there identifying the predatory journal. There is one website is already available. Look at the journal scope to determine if it is overly broad, vague, includes unrelated fields of research. If it is not relating to, it is giving everything. Any publication it will take. Check the journal archives for highly irregular publication cycles. Issue once in a year, 6 in another extra year. You find out from the archive whether it is a safe journal. Check if the publisher has a large fleet of journals that contain very little content. Verify that journal's peer review and manuscript handling process is clearly described, whether they have clearly given what is the peer review process. You can look into the website and you can easily find out whether there is any professionalism in the website. Even the website will also tell whether it is a predatory journal or not. We have a Bill's list of Weebly journals. If you go into the site and put the journal, suppose any publisher was asking you a publication, give some publication, we can put, you can check whether that publisher is genuine or not. We can check whether the journal is genuine. We can also check the publisher is genuinity, whether it is a predatory. Both we can check and we can find out easily the predatory journals. Say for example, this is one diagram which I have given. It is an International Journal of Current Research. Everything is clear. Peer-reviewed open access journal. What is its ISN number? What is the impact factor? How we can achieve it? What is the index value? SCI scientific journal impact factor. What are all the categories of the research articles which we are supplying? So everything is there very clearly indexed on the website of the particular journal. So this journal, this website will give you what is the impact factor of the journal. So most of the time the journal will give some impact factor. We can easily find out by putting the name of the journal and we can easily search in bioxbio.com. This will find out what is the impact factor. See, I want a sweet. I can buy a good one. I can buy a normal one. I can buy a bad one. But what we will buy? I will buy only good one. I will index. I will find out which is a good impact factor journal. Now, how to prepare your article? Okay, these are all the selection of a journal. How I can select a journal before I publish my article. But my article should also be good. My article should also be genuine. My article should also have some formatting. Now, when you want to write a preparation, publishing a journal paper, you have to look into all these things. Prepare to write your manuscript. Write it your own language, own skill. No cut paste. Don't do cut pasting because your plagiarism will reveal how much is the plagiarism is there. And it is not satisfying for you also. Suppose you want to review a literature, there you have to use the services of other authors, but not in your manuscript when you are preparing your manuscript. Plus, write your manuscript. Types of paper. What type of paper you are going to write? Journal selection, ethical guidelines, defining authorship, and selection of an article, and then you submit your process. I will see one by one. When you are writing a manuscript, what is the novelty? Why this article I want to publish? Is there any novelty in there? Yes, I have produced a research with my project. I am able to give a silicone finish, a non-stain finish to my fabric. I am able to generate a material which can give you medical applications on textiles. It can cure. It is a very natural. I can prepare. What is the novelty? You give and perceive your novelty. What message you want to give with this journal? So I have found out a novel material from the extracts of plants which could be applied on a fabric, and that fabric can be used for wound healing. That is the message I want to give. Put it in the context with need appropriate references. Anybody has done it? Anybody has already prepared it? You take out all the references. You find out how your work is unique from others. Because publishers is not ordinary people. They will easily check. They can easily find out whether your work is a repetition or whether your work is slightly deviating from the work of earlier researchers, whether your work is completely other than the earlier researchers. You can easily find out. Have it read by others. Have the work been read already? Don't make it longer. Whenever you prepare your manuscript, prepare it and shorten it and concise it. Invest time in writing well. Take your own time and prepare your manuscript. Don't go haphazardly. Corrections, rewriting. Yes, these things will improve the condition of your journal. Now, choose appropriate co-authors. So I do a work on medical textiles. I take a co-author from an automobile engineering. Is it okay? No. They will see. The peer-reviewed reviewers will see who is the co-author, what type of contribution the co-author is giving. See, nowadays, a lot of journals carries 5 to 10 co-authors. We have seen a publishing company allowing all the co-authors. About 10 people are co-authors, about 6 people are co-authors, but really they are contributing? No. See, very good journal, they will ask the co-author whether you contribute to this journal. Your author has specified your name as a co-author, whether you are contributing. Give yes or no. So some of the good journals, they will ask, and choose appropriate journals. Don't go for very high journals. I will publish only in the indexed journal, textile research journal, which is a sponsored journal from UK. I will do only that. Or I will put it in a local journal. No, you select some good journal which has got a reputation. There is more than a journal than its impactor. Read the journal's author webpage. When you are selecting a journal, you find out what is the author's webpage. Use correct format. Most of the time we fail. We fail loading our manuscript because we don't follow the correct format. They will give Times Roman number 12 font size with these abbreviations, but we put everything in Arial. A reviewer, is it a work of a reviewer to find out this is not in the format? If reviewer is not there, then what they will say, your work is rejected. Even though you have done a good work and your format is not according to the author's format, they will reject your article. What type of papers you are going to select? See, every journal will carry a column, whether your article or research article, whether it is a review paper, whether it is a letter, or whether it is only comments about any other article, all these things should be there, whether you are giving any conference proceedings. See, you have to go for a specialized, broad interested in your journal selection, whether it is theoretical journal or applied engineering or applied journals. Full length, how much manuscript they will give, they will clearly give. Your abstract should carry 150 words about the materials used, about the innovation, everything they will give very clearly. Whether it is the length of your article should be apportioned accordingly. Whether it is subscribed or open access. What is the time limitation of your publication process? Most of the time, most of the reputed journals, according to us, it takes more time. It has got a lot of reviewing mechanism. Once they get reviewed, they will come up with your reviewer comments, and then they will take your publication again, and they will review, then they will intimate. See, these are all the ethical guidelines. Obtain necessary clearances from the place where you are working. Declare any conflict of interest. See, nowadays, all the proposals, all the publication, they ask conflict of interest. What is conflict of interest? When a person becomes unreliable because of clash between personal and professional affairs. See, I pirate, I take some work from others, and I declare that there is no conflict of interest. So that time your work will be not monitored. So your work will be clearly found out, then they will stop your work. See, this has happened to many researchers, and you have to declare that there is no conflict of interest. Define the authorship. Basic physical ideas are discussion, laboratory experiments, detailed calculations. Author may have to give a substantiable contributions towards this. All authors share the responsibility and accountability for publication content. You have to give a clear definition of authorship, and authors should carry the accountability and responsibility of the publication. Citation, private conversation referenced in the publication. Acknowledgement, contribution is not significant enough to list as author, must obtain permission for acknowledgement also. Types of authorship, it may be a lead author, it may be a submitting author, it may be a corresponding author, and it may be a last author. So we have to clearly give who is the corresponding author, who is the lead author, who has done the work, who is responsible for giving clarification in case of any doubts on the material. In sometimes this PhD, suppose PhD dissertation, you are going to publish a part of your PhD dissertation. The first author can be a student. See, most of the places they admit the student as the first author, and independent relative or the authors in the rank of orders, we can add the rank of orders. Should be discussed at the start. Once you reveal, once you give the list of authorship, it cannot be changed without any permission. And most of the article publishers, they say there is no submission, another author or deletion of author, no addition of author, no deletion of author. List of applications of each author. Allow all authors to comment prior to submission. Most of the time this we don't do. I prepare the manuscript, I will submit, I will put your name. Please, I'm adding your name and I will add it. This should not be there. Ask the authors to review. Journal will send email to all authors, be ethical. See, most of the time, I add your name, I don't know. So somebody has added my name, I don't know. But the journal will say, ask me whether you are a co-author. So how the article should be. Sections in the article. Title. It should not be 3 lines, 4 lines. It should be very simple and informative and concise. Say, for example, I have given thermal comfort of bamboo knitted fabrics. This is very simple and it is to the format. The article title which cannot be used is a unique novel thermal comfort of, you see, you use some superfluous words. That is not necessary, that is not required also. Because normally most of the title should have so many words only. They will prescribe in the article publication. When you submit your article, they will prescribe clearly. Abstract, you give what is the problem, what is the objectives, what is the methodology, what is the findings, and what is the effect and impact. All these things should be less than 250 words. So how you are going to concise it? See, most of the conferences, most of the international conferences and all, they won't ask you the full publication. First, they will ask you only the abstract. So your abstract should tell what is there in the full journal, full publication. So you have to give a concise method of what is the problem you are attending, what is your objective of your research, what methodology you follow, and what is your conclusion, and what is the effect or what is the scope of your research. So introduction, problem to be addressed very clearly, literature survey can be cited, background of your work, new developments and principle results to be improved, research purpose and method. All these things should be there in introduction. See, most of the time, people find it difficult to write an introduction because they take cut and paste. See, now the main method of doing a good introduction is you take all the abstract which you have been reviewing or which you have reviewed. You take all the authors plus abstract and you find out what is the best in that and you add in the background and literature review. Don't copy and paste it. You write it on your own. What are all the developments that have been taken and going to take place also you can give in the introductory part. See, main body of paper should have a problem. What is the research method or theory and experiment, and what results you get, and all the figures and your tables. See, most of the research publishers, they will ask separately figures. You have to give clearly figure number and the title. Figure should come at the bottom. Table, you have to put it at the top. Some publication, they will clearly tell, give separately figures, give separately tables. So all these things, you have to take it separately and put it in a separate way, so that when you are going to upload your submission, it has to be clearly done. Not in a hurry. You take it separately, you find out what is the figure number, whether the body of the articles carry that figure number, whether it is pertaining to that figure, everything you check, twice you check, then you put all the figures separately and all the tables separately. They will ask at the end of the publication. Now, when you upload your document, they will ask how many figures are there, how many tables are there, how many words are there, whether it is 4,000 words or 8,000 words. When you give everything, then only you can submit. When you submit, they will give a pre-review also. So, discussion in your part of your publication should be results viewed in a larger context. You have to discuss about the results you obtain from your research. Comparison with other related works. You can compare with the other related works. Suppose I prepare a material, I'm giving again the same context of preparing a medical textile. I can compare with already available market sample. I have test and I have to compare. Yes, this is equivalent to this sample. So what is the significance? See, many of the article, many of the research work doesn't carry statistics. So that statistic should be there. In your discussion, you have to say that you signify, I have a statistical significance in my results. I say this is, yes, this is acceptable based on t-test, based on f-test, based on regression analysis, based on ANOVA test. So there are a lot of statistical tests, and that you have to select properly. What test for what values? That you have to do based on the your guide or your authors or your colleagues' recommendations. Conclusion, only summary, no other information. Statement for specific conclusion. I conclude on these areas. What is the scope of your research? Mostly references should be as per the format. It is given in a lot of indexed formats are available. You have to choose the end note of BibTeX. BibTeX is one website which can give you how your references can be indexed. Most of the time, you see, when we are reviewing any paper, when it comes to us, first we will see only the references. Whether that references is there in the context or body of the paper. See, most of the time they will take references separately, preparing a script separately. They will add those things and they will submit. But whether that reference has been referred when you make your introduction. Introduction carries background and literature review, whether you have referred that work. So that is very important. And when you give your references, you should be sure that references has been verified or that reference has been cited in your background of and literature review. See, mostly appendix can carry a supplementary material valuable from any specialist, material valuable for specialist, acknowledgements, whatever assistance you provide, got from other resources, other researchers, and you want to thank them or you want to show the facilities of them for your use. Those things and all can be given. Even some of the research works or research writings carry some techno-economic analysis. There is no scope in the main body of the paper, but you can give it in the financial support and disclosures at the appendix column. See, grammar, punctuation, spelling, terminology are very important. Your article, even though your work is good, your language is poor, nobody will accept it. Logical sentence, where you want to use the or where you want to show the a, all grammatical things, it has to be checked properly before submission. Use short sentences. Don't keep on writing one sentence for 3 or 4 lines. It should be very short, and read papers in English in leading research journals. And if you are not capable of vocabulary corrections, grammatical correction, if any your colleagues is there, please ask them to do once or twice, but you have to learn on your own. See, these are all suggestions for use of tense. What tense we have to use? Abstract, use past tense. Introduction, use present tense. Literature review, past tense. Methodology, past tense, the way you gathered and synthesized. Results, past tense. Discussion, present tense. Conclusion, present tense. So these tenses, these types should be used. Sir, what this, how many things I have to remember? You take all these things, put it at the end of your screen. Whenever you want to write abstract, you refer. This is the way, this is the sentence I have to use. I have, I had. All the grammatical thing, with what type of sentence I have to use, you can easily check up and you can prepare. When you start preparing, you admire yourself. Yeah, I have done it. This is the way it has to be done. I have done it. So that way you have to by heart this and prepare accordingly. See, before you submit, you can use a language editing software for editing your language. What journal style guide, browsed published articles. If you want to see some more articles which has been published by the journal, you see how they have made a 2-column or 4-column or how they have indexed everything. Then you find out the online submission. Before submitting, check first draft, second self-draft, self-edit second draft, developmental edit, then copy edit, then proofread. So finally, you keep everything as per the format of the publication. You go inside, you see the guidelines, how it has to be apportioned. You keep everything ready as per their format. See, that's what I was telling you. Keep figures separately, give title separately, give tables separately, main body with figures and tables, main body without figures and tables. But it all should be neatly corrected. When you are going to remove the figures, you should also see that the bottom figure number that has to be removed and kept separately in the figure table. And moreover, in the same body of the article, that number has to come. That place, that figure is going to come. The author, when the publishing, they will take that figure and they will fix it there. So it has to be clearly given. Table is there, over. Table number, so and so. It should be available on the main body of the article and as well as in the table separately on a folder. So you have to clearly see all this. And review and editorial process, normally author writes, developmental editing is done, line edit is done, then copy edit is run. See, this is a similarity detection software. This also you can use for similarity checking or plagiarism checking, www.turnitin.com. And of course, our university is also having each and everything we can easily check for the plagiarism. See, this is a typical presentation of a Journal of Textile Institute I have given, and it may be useful for you if you are a textile graduate. So this you have home, login, help, register. First you have to register your name. You have to log in yourself, and then you have to go to the main menu. This is your username and password. Now author login. When your login is accepted, you can author login. This is the archive. This will give you a very good impact for the authors. Suppose you are in archive, it will give you a good impact that you are a recognized author. Then new submissions, submit the new manuscript. Any other manuscript you have already submitted are being processed, that will come in that article in the Journal of Textile Institute. Now, any submission under revision, everything 00 here. All these things will be implied on screen of your article. Now, article type. What type of article? Whether it is research paper, review paper, technical note, or correspondence. Now you have to select properly. You have to select it clearly. Suppose you make a case study and you put it as a research paper, they won't accept. Then, what is manuscript anonyms? Manuscript with author details, table, figure, supplementary material, list of figures and list of tables. One more thing here I want to tell you. Suppose nothing is there on the supplementary material, don't create something and put it there, which is not useful for the article. If it is not useful, no, you can leave it blank. So you can put what is the manuscript and what is the with author details separately and table separately, figures separately, list of figures, list of tables separately. Then here, after completing everything, you can proceed to the next. And here, any attachment of the files or anything required, keywords and all those things, you can add it separately. That will come one by one. How many keywords you have to give? See, most of the times, after giving a keyword, it will ask you add, then you add another keyword. You press the add subscription, you press the add button, then create a new keyword. Like that also it will be there, and sometimes it will be listed. Then reviewers, you have to give 3 names as per the policies of the journal. Suppose the journal has 3 names, you can give 3 good reviewers with their proper email ID, with proper phone number and their affiliations. All these things will be as per the format. If you are giving a mistake in the phone number, that reviewer will be removed. And pending page, chart sheet information, any funding is there on your publication, that also we can give. Suppose any publication funding we get from the university or somebody else, that also we can specify. When you are submitting everything, your terms and condition, you can pre-review all the complete material. A draft will come, you can check everything, then you can submit. See, most of the time, reviewer comments are not treated as a good thing. So most of the authors feel, he is a hopeless fellow, he is giving a lot of comments on me. Like that, no. Any peer reviewer comments, you take it granted and approve it. And it is for your improvement only. Editor makes decision after peer review. Authors may resubmit revised transcript according to the publication pattern. Then you can also suggest few referees, but make sure they aren't just big names in the field. They are not closely linked to you. You can ask reviewers to be excluded, but don't go overboard. See that a proper reviewer is there. I am specialist in spinning. I put a reviewer who is related to spinning area. I cannot put it in some other area. So like that, you can give a reviewer's comments also. Take it as a not as an enemy. Consider them. They are an ally who can help you. Can make additional changes. Don't cast aspirations on referees. Be courteous to referees and editors. Some authors, they will write to the referee. You are given such a difficult remarks. What is wrong in my publication? Those things should be completely avoided. If manuscript is rejected, don't get worried. If your proposal is rejected, don't worry at all. You make another attempt. You can appeal, but most of the time appeals are not there, not allowed in a journal publication. Put in your own drawer, and after 2-3 weeks, you again review it and then you take it. This is an overview of the peer review process that I already told you. And these are all your how to promote your work. These are all some of the index, scholar index, which are available. And you know who is this? Professor Salim Yusuf. He is from Bangalore. He has got an H index of 233. And Amartya Sen, Harvard University, currently is having a H index of 196. Where is our H index? We have to find out. We have to find out our H index. It is a fun. Research is a fun. Writing requires patience, perseverance, but it is an effort which can improve your skills. Nobody is perfect. Everybody sweats. Thankful to the reviewer who gives 10-page report with all the criticisms. Celebrate your publication. These are all famous quotes. Publish or perish. If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. The best writing comes from rewriting. I think I stick on to the time, 1 hour you have given. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the researchers for patient hearing. Thank you for the support of the university for allowing me to present this research citations. So I have given 2 thank yous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Some of the journals, see, most of the time we can index all the journals, whatever journals in our particular domain, we can index all the journals and we can keep it which area, which way, place it has to go. Our findings, which journal it can accommodate. I have indexed about 20-25 journals, and all these journals are indexed journals. First, I will take only indexed journals. Whenever my work is there, I will choose. I will go for International Journal of Chemtech Research. Yes, this particular article is relevant to that. I will go with Indian Journal of Science and Technology. Yes, this is a common journal, very well approved journals. We can go there. So I have given some index also for textile beneficiaries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a very informative session. So if any of our faculty colleagues have any questions to be asked? Anyone? Okay.
I can share the PowerPoint slides to Dr. Uttam Sharma. And from,
I was going to ask from you that you please share this PPT
Yes.
so that it can be shared to other faculties, those who are not able to join this particular session of Udhbhavana.
can pass it on. Even others can also ask me.
Yeah.
Come to this, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So with that, we come to the end of our session. I would like to request Dr. Shobha Jain to propose words of thanks.
Thanks, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thanks, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. The first session of Udhbhavana is getting over. It's my pleasure to deliver the words of thanks. Very special and heartfelt thanks to our distinguished speaker Dr. V.R. Sampath, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Textile Technology, Indore. It's really an opportunity to listen him on an overview on research publication ethics. We feel honored to have him with us. I express my gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upendra, for providing directions and encouragement for the academic forum Udhbhavana. Such programs will provide a platform for research in interdisciplinary subjects in the university. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Rector and Dean FDSR, Dr. Santosh Thar. I recall an inspirational quote: research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. And we also would like to thank and acknowledge our gratitude to all HOIs, HODs, faculty members of SWB for being part of this event. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining. We'll be meeting next month with our second session of Udhbhavana. Thank you.
Thank you, Sat Sampath, sir. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we can close the meeting now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. शादाब सर मीटिंग क्लोज कर दीजिए.
शारदा सर क्लोज कर दें सर